Alright everyone, this video I'm going to show you how to change out a brake booster on an 86 F150. Now this is a non-assist, or not, it doesn't have any type of fluids or anything going to it. It's just a regular old power brake booster. It's pretty easy to swap out. This should come with the new brake booster along with that, so you don't gotta worry about that. Just disconnect it right here and pull your vacuum line off, and then on this side take this bracket off right here that's hanging onto the brake lines, and then take the two nuts off that's holding on to the master cylinder, and then just pull the master cylinder forward a little bit. Now depending on yours, all of them's different. This truck's been lifted, so I think the lines probably aren't exactly the way that they were from the factory, but it should be, if anything, it's probably more loose than what the normal one is. Just be careful if you got brake fluid in there that you don't dump it out everywhere whenever you pull it back. But once you get those off and you'll pull it back, the rest of it's going to be done inside. Now you do have your speed control over here that might come in the way a little bit, but I think that once we let go of this, I think it'll slide out and pop out, you know, kind of pull out to the side just a little bit. I don't think it's going to cause too much of an issue. If it does, we can just take the brake booster off right here, take these two 5/16 out, and just let the brake booster drop down, or not the brake booster, the speed control. All right, let's start off by just taking this vacuum line off right here. Sometimes these lines, especially if they've been on the truck for a long time, it turns, but it's definitely hardened. Sometimes it's best if you just replace that line. I don't think I'm going to replace it, but it looks like there's enough room to basically slice it right there. And I'm just going to cut it right close to it just in case I happen to need to use it. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and loosen up this nut right here. There it goes. You want to be careful here. Yours may be different, but I can tell that if that nut, whenever it comes out, looks like the nut's going to hit or shove the wrench up against the master cylinder, where I'll get the wrench stuck between the two and I won't be able to get it off. So once it gets out to that point, you'll probably have to flip it around and use the opening. So this very first nut right here is just basically taking the bracket off that is holding the brake lines. Alright, so that's off. Now we gotta loosen up the actual nut for the brake booster, or for the master cylinder, bolting it to the brake booster. And I guess you can use the lube of your choice to try to loosen it up, make it a little bit easier. Make sure that you put your nuts somewhere that you're not gonna lose them. Let's see. And take the nut off on the other side of the master cylinder. You can see how it's sitting right here, but just pull your master cylinder back a little bit like that. It'll give you the room to take your wrench off, get that nut off, get it out of the way, and then just pull your master cylinder back. And just kind of let it set right there. Now we're going to go inside and start loosening up the brake booster from the inside. So hopefully you got a good view of this. This is your brake light switch up underneath your dash. If you just go to your brake pedal and go straight up, you'll find it. You see the red clip right there. Probably, you may or may not have wires. You probably won't have wires if yours is stock. This one has a, you know, aftermarket stereo system and stuff in it. So I'm going to take a pair of pliers and I'm going to reach up in there. If you come on the end right here and lift up slightly and just push it backwards, you can see, I mean, it's pretty much self-explanatory, but you can see how I just pushed it out. I'll be able to slide the brake light switch off from it. I got a couple washers that's coming off, and the pedal gets loose, and you'll be able to go straight back like that. So the brake light switch is dangling down right there, and right there's a washer that came out of it. Then you can get you a 14mm socket, a long extension, and a ratchet, and stick it up in there and get the bolts. Okay, so just take your extension, swivel, ratchet away. I'm going to take the ratchet off, and I'm doing it by hand. And then make sure that whenever you get your nut out here, that you don't drop it back behind the carpet, because if you drop it back behind the carpet or the floor liner, then sometimes they can seem to disappear. Go ahead and do it. That was easier than the first one. That was number 2. Now we're going to go to number 3. But we're on the last nut, so just got 4 nuts hanging on to the brake booster on the inside. Got those 4 out, everything's out in here. Okay, so back in the engine compartment, you can see right here it's pretty well stuck. All the bolts are out of it. You're gonna have to give it a little bit of a carrying hit or push. You might have to get a pry bar in here. Alright, so I got me a pry bar right here. I'm gonna go back behind here and give a couple love pulls. Of course, this thing is stuck. It is stuck good. It's probably never been changed. It's not wanting to budge at all. Okay, so just to let you know, I had to get my air hammer out. I put the nuts back on just to cover the threads, and I hit it a couple times on each stud because it was rusty around it. I seen the brake booster fall forward, and then that's whenever I stopped, and then I took the nuts off. So if you don't have an air hammer, you can use a regular hammer. It's just real tight up underneath there. I just opted to get the air hammer out because it's real easy, and it puts a lot of hitting force on it really quickly. And if you're changing out your brake booster, it doesn't really matter if you do damage the threads, other than sometimes if you flatten them too much, it'll make it hard to get out of the holes. So try not to damage them. Alright, so now you can see the brake booster is loose since I've knocked it loose from the inside. And you basically just keep pulling it out. Now pay attention to your brake rod inside, because sometimes they'll hang up on your brake pedal. You'll just have to go in there and move it. You can see right here where I've got the speed control wire right there, and I'm able to get it out without moving the speed control. But here's the brake booster, and now it's out of the truck. You can clean up this area right here. Now whenever you get the old one off, you want to compare it with the new one side by side, just to make sure that it looks like it's the correct one. You can definitely tell that this one was rusty. Put the 2 of them side by side like this, compare them, make sure that they look the same as far as where the master cylinder goes in at. Well, I just wanted to point out on the new brake booster, they were nice enough to supply some new nuts, retaining nuts, so I don't have to use the original ones. Pretty much reinstalling it is opposite of taking it off. You should be able to handle that yourselves if you've got to this point. But anyways, thanks for watching, everyone. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button for me, like it, share it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Stay tuned for more videos, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching again, everyone.